Hey guys, it's Bo here with the 90-degree keyboard, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the 4 best operators, in my opinion, for new players in Rainbow Six Siege. I get this question a lot when I'm streaming. A lot of people go, "Hey Bo, what kind of operators should I be using if I just started to the game? What are your favorite operators, or like what's the best operator to use for just starting out?" And I figured, heck, I'll make a YouTube video about it. So let's get right into it. All right, so our first thing we're going to talk about is the attackers. I got 2 attackers, and first up is Thermite. Thermite is an amazing attacker, not just for beginners, but also for veteran players, because every team needs a hard breacher. And let me clarify this. Siege is a team-based game, so all these operators I'm going to show for new players are able to help them become better team players. So right up here, we have Thermite. Thermite is an awesome operator. He comes with a few things. So here's his loadout. So first, he has the 5.56 XI, which is probably one of the best assault rifles in the game, as well as the M1014 shotgun. He comes with the M45 pistol, as well as the M.57 USG pistol. He gets smoke grenades, and he also gets flashbangs. And the cool thing about his kit is the breaching charge. Now, this breaching charge could be used on any hard wall, as long as it's not electrified, because with it, while it's electrified, it will get rid of the charge, but that's where we're going to have someone who can get rid of that, and we'll be talking about that next. Not hard walls like the outside of the map, but the metal walls in the game. You can use this to blow a complete hole, just like I show you right here. He's a great attacker. It helps new players learn sights, which is super important, because if you're new to the game, you don't really know a lot about the sights, but if you know where the bomb is, it helps you, 1, be a team player, and 2, learn the map when it comes into breaching sites. Now, you can put his Thermite charge onto hatches that have been reinforced, but walls are preferred, walls leading into sites, or using that, you only get 2 of them, but you could use 1 for a wall for site, and 1 to make a rotate for your team after you plant, or to hit, the back of site. Now, there are other hard breachers like Habana and Ace. The reason why I picked Thermite is it's pretty self-explanatory. It makes a bigger hole into the hard wall, as well as he has a great loadout, and he's just an awesome operator, and I think a lot of people should be playing him too. He doesn't get banned a lot in ranked. Actually, I haven't seen a Thermite banned in a very long time. So yeah, so this is Thermite. He is an awesome operator. And up next, we have Thatcher. Thatcher is another really good operator, and he pairs well with Thermite. So if you are running a duo, one of you guys could go Thatcher, the other goes Thermite. Typically, Thatcher is an unbanned operator when it comes to ranked. He has a great loadout. He has the AR-33, which is one of my favorite guns in the game, as well as the LA5A2, which is an amazing gun, as well as the gun that Sledge uses, as well as a great gun. I personally like the AR-33 a lot better. I just think the fire rate is better. I think it hits harder, and it's just easier to control recoil, kind of like Thermite's gun. Then going to the other part of his loadout, which is the M5908 shotgun, which is honestly one of the best shotguns in the game. Might see this shotgun on smoke. You might see this shotgun on mute. It's pretty decent shotgun. Definitely hits hard. Moving over to his pistol, he comes with the P226 MK25, which is another solid gun as well. So your loadout is pretty solid in the game, as well as his ability. So first of all, you do get hard breach charge. These are not hard breach charges. These are just regular breaching charges that you can put onto soft walls. Unlike the Thermite charges, you can use these for soft walls. You cannot use these for hard walls. Never use a Thermite breaching charge for a soft wall as well. I forgot to mention that when I talked about Thermite. Now, he has claymores as well, which also work really well, especially if you are breaching an outside wall or helping a Thermite or your team breaching an outside wall. You can put these claymores under windows, especially like on Chalet when you're pushing downstairs. You can put them on these upstairs windows so people can't do runouts. And now with the update, they go off automatically without having to have this little delay. There used to be like a couple second delay. Now it's an instant kaboom. All right, going up to the most important part of his loadout is the EMP grenade. And the reason why I pick Thatcher as a good operator for beginners is because this helps. You pretty much could do a lot with the EMP grenade. 1, you can get rid of electric ops. You can get rid of bandits. You can get rid of cades. You can get rid of bulletproof cameras. You can get rid of trap can traps. Anything with an electrical force to it, a Rooney Gates. You throw one of these things on it or by it, and when it explodes, they will lose power, and you'll make your team have a lot of easier chances to rotate, push through, and clear out sight. This also works if you do throw this and an enemy player is by the explosion of the EMP. If they are running everything but iron sights, their reticle will disappear, which is really cool. Something that you can definitely frustrate an enemy team by getting rid of the reticle as well as the electro hops. Now, you can be countered by bandit tricking. You can be countered by a two brow. But if you have a solid team and you're just starting out, getting that wall, those electric gates off the wall and getting your chance for your hard breachers to open up sight is huge and key. Once again, Siege is a team-based game, and that's why I picked Thermite as one of the best operators to main when you are first starting out. Up next, let's do defenders. So when it comes to defending is one of those things that if you're just starting in the game, my suggestion is to anchor sight. And when I mean anchor sight, I mean staying in the sight between the two bombs and being a support player for your team. You got to understand that KD doesn't matter so much in Siege as it does in like Call of Duty or Apex or not even Battlefield, honestly, but like competitive shooters like COD. KD is important. That means you're actually putting work. In Siege, because it is a team-based game, there's a lot of gadgets. There's a lot of different, I consider it 3D chess. There's a lot of different ways to win. Sometimes kills do not matter. And when it comes to anchoring and holding sight and being a support player, it comes in handy. It's actually good to be a support player. Your team will like you a lot more if you're anchoring sight, and that's why I pick Rook. I tell a lot of people to play Rook. Rook is pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to go through it with you guys right now. So let's start with his loadout first. First, he has the P90, which is probably one of the best guns in the game in terms of SMGs. This gun is one of my favorites to use. I run it on Rook over the other gun that he has, which is the MP5, which is the one that Doc has. And with the addition of the ACOGs being back on these guns, if you do choose to go for a spawn peek, which I do not suggest you guys doing when you're first starting out, it definitely you can hit players and spawn. It's pretty annoying. And that is the mental part of the game. But we're focusing on just anchoring sight and being a team player. Now the ACOG does allow you to hold long angles as a defender, which is why it's a little overpowered, and why sometimes a lot of people complain about it, but it definitely makes attackers play slow, and if you are anchoring sight, you're able to hold those long hallways or hold windows and etc, etc. Now, these two guns are super solid, as well as the CQB shotgun, which, if you want to be dirty and just one-tap people or pump people down to the ground, then you can use the shotgun, but personally, I would stick with either the P90 or the MP5. Now, he comes with the revolver as well as the P9. I personally think the P9 is a lot better than the revolver, but that's personal preference. For his gadgets, he gets a proximity alarm, he gets impact grenades, and he gets observation blockers. I personally do not like observation blockers. I would stick with either impacts to make rotates for your team into sight, or proximity alarms for anyone who is lurking or roaming so that they're able to hear if the enemy is pushing down a hallway or outside a window and something like that. Now, let's talk about his ability. It is armor plates. So basically, like you see here, you just place down the armored, package here, and players can pick up their armor. Now, if the round starts and no one has picked up all their armor, there'll be a counter on top. It'll show you guys all what you have to do. And if you do not pick up all their armor, if your team doesn't pick up all their armor, you might want to shoot it, because the attacking team can pick up armor. So be careful where you place this thing down. As well as now, when you do place it down, you automatically put a plate into your plate carrier before you'd actually have to do another key to put the plate into your carrier. So it's like simultaneously you put it down, you get your plate, and every team gets your plate. I suggest putting this down within like maybe 20 seconds of the prep phase being over. Gives your team time to run around and set up sight. So that way they set up sight first before they get their armor plates, but to each his own. That's personally how I like it, because I feel like sometimes everyone just crowds around and you're not able to get your plate right away, and then sight's not being set up while people are droning. So that's Rook. On to the next one, which is Mute. Mute, I think, is a really good operator for someone who is just starting out as well, because typically if we go back out to the operator list, if you do buy the game, you're really only getting the top row of operators, or maybe the top row and a couple more from years 1 and 2. I'm not sure what the when you buy the game. I haven't bought a new version of Siege in a very long time, so I don't really remember, but typically all the front operators are unlocked. So Rook and Mute are there. I sometimes say Doc, but I think Doc is a little bit, it's not the best for beginners, so that's why I picked Mute. The reason why I picked Mute is you place down your signal jammers, which I will show you guys here in a few minutes. So let's actually first go over the loadout. So the loadout comes with the MP5K, which is awesome. Back when this had the 1.5 sight, it actually made Mute a bannable op in ranked. It was really dirty. It's just as good with the 1.5 sight. I know I have extended barrel. Don't worry about that. I was just messing around in ranked because I typically use the shotgun, which is amazing. If you could hold sight with a shotgun, it definitely gets up close and personal with attackers. Now we're going over to what he has as sidearms or secondary weapons. So he comes with the P229 MK, solid pistol, but a lot of people run, and as well as I do, is the SMG11, which, yes, recoil is very hard to control. But if you can master the SMG11 and run it with the shotgun, it is an amazing combination. That is just for smoke and as well as for Mute. And the reason why I said that Mute is a good operator is he comes with a nitro cell as well as a bulletproof cam. So you can use that nitro cell to get rid of shield ops. You could prep a nitro cell under a floor as you're learning the maps in the games while you're holding down sight. It works very well. Same with the bulletproof cam, so you can give intel to your team. Now, I mentioned earlier about our signal disruptors, and this is why I think Mute is probably one of the better ops to play when you're first starting out, is these things stop drones. So you put them down everywhere around, the map, typically close to sight. You can put them by drone holes. You can put them on hard walls as well. But this disrupts jammers. Disrupts drones or any really electrical stuff, even hard breaches too. So basically what this does, if a drone rolls up here, like you see down your screen below, it hits the Mute jammer and everything goes fizzy. So if you have a Mozzie, the Mozzie could capture the drone, or you could just, eliminate the drones. Now, intel is super important when it comes to Rainbow Six Siege. Everyone gets 2 drones on attack, so if you can eliminate that first drone when they're droning sight and prep phase, now they only have 1 drone left, and they have to be a little bit more careful about what they want to use for intel. As well as, like I said, hard breaches. If for some reason you don't have a bandit, you can place this jammer down on a castle barricade, or a normal barricade, or a normal wall, or a hard wall, and this will disrupt the attackers when it comes to like a Thermite, or an Ace, or a Habana with their charges. And this works really well. It doesn't work all the time. I don't think you really mute trick anymore. Mute trick is the same thing as bandit tricking, where you play when the EMP goes off, you pick up your mute or your bandit charges, you place them down, and it'll zap the hard breach off. Same thing with mute. It will disrupt it again. They've made it a little bit difficult because just the area of where the mute jammer can go. So, use this on hard walls if you don't have bandits or any electrical ops. But yeah, for the most part, this is a really solid thing because you can place these things down and then go help set up sight. And you can still anchor sight with the loadout that it gives you in order to be a very functional operator in Rainbow Six Siege. So here you guys go. Those are my 4 operators that I think are good for players who are just starting out. If you guys would like to see more videos like this, make sure you comment down below, like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, tell me what you guys would like to see more. If you guys don't agree with my opinion, that's totally cool. Let's talk about it in the comments section. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Bo with the 90 Degree Keyboard, and peace.